Yo, what up, people? Just giving my thoughts on Madden adding formation subs into Madden 17. I think that was a big deal. That's something that a ton of people pushed for and wanted. Even in the blog, they gave credit to the community for getting that done, for just having a really loud voice and letting everyone know, hey, we want this in the game. Um, Personally, I was at work when I saw it, and when I actually saw it the other day, I let off one of the Ric Flair woos because it's such a big deal. So I definitely let the devs know that I think they did a great job. Saw a lot of people giving them compliments. They gave a shout out to the community and to Shopmaster, big up to Shop, pushing it. A whole bunch of people pushed it. I saw Sims, maybe all those dudes. Everybody, man, everybody wanted this. So before I say what I'm going to say, definitely want to make sure people don't think me personally not being grateful, because that's not the case at all. um, I will say that it's a game changer, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm not complaining. But with everything, it's our responsibility to be vocal about what can be better. And even though it's in, it can still be better. And like, oh man, people saying like, oh, how can you say that when they barely got it in? You should be thankful. First off, how are you gonna tell another grown man to be thankful about anything? So I'll say this: I am thankful. I am appreciative of it. But it can be better just for the fact that for me specifically, I'm thinking about the hybrid safety linebacker. Now, I saw a lot of people making like crazy requests to have wide receivers play like crazy positions that they would never play. People are gonna just use them for their speed. Wide receiver to defensive end position just because they got like 95 speed or something. They can fly off the edge. That's ridiculous. Those complaints or suggestions. Those are just people trying to cheat, basically cheat and break the game. What I'm suggesting, and this is based off of reality, something that's going on right now in the NFL, is the hybrid safety linebacker position. And it's like that because of athletes such as the cover athlete, Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham, Jordan Reed, best route running tight end in the game, and others, Greg Olson. These tight ends that can line, they're basically huge wide receivers, you know, and cornerbacks can't cover them, safeties can't cover them. And it's like they're having these teams are having such a hard time, and now they're drafting these special athletes to play this hybrid position. If you look at the way the NFL is now, nickel is now the base defense. It's not the 3-4 anymore. It's not the 4-3. Nickel. Teams are in nickel 60. I think I'll say it's like 65 or 66% of the time now, compared to the way it used to be. And that's according to Pro Football Focus. Check that out for yourself. So with that being said, if one of the main reasons why I wanted it because I'm a Skins fan, so I'm thinking of Sewell Cravens. We drafted him. Technically it says safety, but if you look at Redskins camp right now, he's learning inside linebacker. That's going to be his, the first thing they want him to learn. But he's also going to be playing safety, and it's not going to be for one play. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, we need to be able to put defensive ends at tight end because they're thinking of J.J. Watt." Okay, that's like how often does that happen? Once a game, maybe once a game. You're talking about a handful of times a year. So if it's in, okay, but that's not really, to me, that's not really that big of a deal because you're talking about one player a handful of times a game. But in this, with this hybrid safety linebacker, this is not a one-time thing. This is something that happens all the time in every game for 60% of the time. Okay, so by me and other people speaking up about this is not complaining. Okay, this is making a suggestion to improve it. So, understand the difference between complaining and criticism. This isn't even criticism because, like I said, everybody's happy with this. But this is like, hey, okay, that's great. Got it in. That's awesome. Happy. But can you do this? That's what that is. That's not being unappreciative. And I was talking to or on Twitter rather, with AZ, and he brought up very good points because unfortunately, whenever Madden gives you something good, there's always someone out there that tries to break it and exploit it. And he was making a point that people are just going to go for a speedy back. If you use a cornerback or a safety, they're just going to go by speed. They're not going to look at any of the other traits or traits. There we go, or ratings rather, to determine what type of player should be playing this hybrid. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, let them do that because for me, it shouldn't be a cornerback; it should only be a safety. And they lowered all the ratings. So the safeties they don't have burner speed anyway. Most of the safeties were high 70s, low 80s speed. So to me, that's not really going to do that much damage. Because you already have some linebackers that have that speed, some of the faster guys. But for me, they only do this for majority of them nickel package, for most of the time. And or if you do put in your base, either way, because if you put that, this is why this is why I don't think it could hurt. If you put that hybrid player that's really a safety, you put them in linebacker. And this is not for every player. This is only we're talking like a handful of players that do this. Put them in linebacker. It's going to weaken your run support. So if you're playing someone that keeps doing that, run the ball. Not hard. Just run the ball. Run it to their side. They'll end up getting pancaked. Like we saw, last year, everybody wants to play quarters defense on no matter what against base offensive, personnel packages. You can come out and goal line offense, and these dudes still come out in quarters. But if you run the ball, they're getting pancaked and you're gone. So that would be my suggestion for that. What I planned on doing it for, just like in real life, nickel packages, third and long, maybe some blitzing situations, putting a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. That's what I plan on using it for because that's how it's used in real life. So asking for that is not trying to break the game. It's not complaining. It's not cheese. This is real football. And don't believe me, check out Pro Football Focus, NFL.com. There's plenty of articles. I think if people follow teams other than their team, and that they would see that, hey, this is not just a one-person deal. This is happening. This is the way the league is going right now. This, like DSK said, this is the evolution of the league. So definitely, I'm definitely still going to be pushing for that. I know the Devs are trying to get it in, and they even came out and said, hey, we're trying to get it in, but we want to make sure it's not exploited. And that's another thing, man. If you guys are the type, these dudes that do nano blitzes, all this other crap, you're now ruining the game because there's actual football that can go into the game that's not being put in the game because you're going to break it. So I can't have nice things. But yeah, it's just my thoughts on that. Peace.